Welcome to the Technical Writing Success Podcast from Kurt Robbins, where we help you get smarter than your competition. This is episode 181. I'm your host, Fred Jones.
And I'm Daphne Blake.
So today, we are tackling something that I think every single person in our industry is feeling right now.
Oh, yeah.
It's February 2nd, 2026, and if you work in tech, or even just, adjacent to tech, the vibes are, well, they're confusing.
Confusing is a very polite way to put it. It feels like we're living in two completely different realities at the same time.
Exactly. You look at the wider economy and things seem fine. The Federal Reserve is talking about expansion, unemployment is low.
Right.
But then you open up LinkedIn or you talk to your friends and it just looks like a disaster movie.
It really does. Some people are calling it a sector-specific recession, and it's really shaking the foundation of what we all thought a tech career was supposed to be.
So we're going to unpack exactly what is happening, why the old rules for career safety are just, well, broken, and most importantly, how you can survive it.
And we're basing this whole conversation on a really critical article, Tech Job Anxieties Grow as Wider Economy Stabilizes, that was just published today, February 2nd, on LinkedIn.
Yeah, and I have to say, this reading was specifically recommended by our show producer, information architect, Kurt Robbins.
He really wanted us to dig into this one because it connects some dots that I think the mainstream news is sort of missing.
Shout out to Kurt for flagging this.
Yeah.
And we're also pulling in insights from the contributors to that piece, people like Jake Perez, Danielle Abril from the Washington Post.
And some really sharp analysis from industry voices like Nate Beck, Vivian Ivanova, and Nate B. Jones.
Okay, so where do we even start? The paradox.
I think we have to start there because for, the last 15, 20 years, breaking into tech was the golden ticket.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. You learn to code, you get into technical writing, you get the hoodie, the stock options. You were set. It was a safe harbor.
And now, Jake Perez calls it a layoff minefield.
Which feels pretty accurate. But let's put some actual numbers on this so we're not just fear-mongering. What does the damage report really look like?
It's heavy. The big headline, of course, is Amazon. They announced 16,000 cuts recently.
But that wasn't the first round, was it? They cut a bunch of people late last year, too?
Correct. That 16,000 is on top of 14,000 they cut just before that. So you're looking at 30,000 people in a very short window.
40,000. I mean, that's the size of a small city. Gone.
And it's not just them. You've got Pinterest, Meta. They're all doing layoffs this year. Nate Beck had some data that really puts it in perspective.
What did you find?
In January 2026 alone, just 1 month, over 26,000 employees were let go across 59 different companies.
And this is where it gets so frustrating for people. Because you read the reporting from Danielle Abril and Brian Phillips, and they point out that the Fed sees economic expansion. They're talking soft landing.
But inside the tech world, the market is described as frozen.
It's a total disconnect. And it creates this split-screen reality for workers. If you're a rank-and-file software engineer, good at your job, maybe 5 years experience,
yeah,
you're struggling.
You could be looking at months of unemployment, but
what?
But if you're an AI star, someone working on LLMs or neural networks, you are getting poached for contracts that look like they belong to a professional athlete.
So the market isn't dead. It's just incredibly picky. It's like it decided traditional tech skills are a commodity and generative AI skills are the only thing worth paying for.
Exactly. But we have to talk about why. Because usually companies cut jobs when they're losing money, right?
Sure.
But Amazon, Meta, these companies are printing cash. They're profitable. So why all the austerity?
Okay, this is the part of the article that just blew my mind. And we have to give credit to Nate B. Jones for this analysis because he completely dismantles the usual CEO excuse.
You mean the culture excuse?
Right. You hear them say things like, we need to get leaner, or kill bureaucracy, or preserve our startup culture. And it all sounds so responsible.
Sounds like a management philosophy. But Nate B. Jones did the math, and he basically argues that it's a smokescreen. It's not about culture, it's about hardware.
Okay, walk us through this math, because this is the key to understanding everything happening this year.
So you look at Amazon's financials from Q3 of 2025. Their free cash flow was negative $4.8 billion.
Negative. So burning more cash than they were taking in.
Right. And in 2026, cash is king. So they need to find money. Now look at the cuts. You get rid of 30,000 corporate employees. Let's assume a fully loaded cost of about $200,000 per person.
Which feels reasonable, maybe even low for Amazon corporate when you factor in salary, stock, benefits.
Probably conservative. But at 200K a head, cutting 30,000 people saves you roughly $6 billion a year.
Okay, so you were down almost $5 billion. You cut $6 billion in payroll. Suddenly, your cash flow is positive again. Problem solved.
But here's the critical part. They're not saving that money to give it back to shareholders. They're saving it because they have a massive new bill to pay.
The GPUs.
Exactly. The AI infrastructure. We're talking about buying tens of thousands of chips from NVIDIA that cost $30,000 or $40,000 each.
And that, for me, was the real aha moment. We've all been worried that AI software would take our jobs.
Yeah.
ChatGPT is going to write the code so we don't need coders.
The automation narrative.
But that's not what's happening. You are not losing your job to the software. You are losing your job to the capital expenditure required to buy the hardware.
It is an accounting trade-off. The CFO has a bucket of money. They can spend it on operating expenses, that's you, the employee, or on capital expenditures, CapEx, that's the server rack.
And right now, the market rewards CapEx. If a CEO says, we spent $10 billion on AI chips, the stock goes up. If they say, we spent $10 billion on middle managers, the stock goes down.
It's that simple. And there's a stat in the source material that is just, you have to hear it to believe it. If you look at the big five, Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Meta, Oracle, they're spending roughly 94% of their operating cash flows on CapEx.
94%.
94. Almost every single dollar of operating cash they generate is going right back out the door to buy more infrastructure.
That's staggering.
Yeah.
It basically turns these software companies into hardware procurement companies. And when you're running that tight, you can't negotiate the price of the chips. So what's the only variable left to cut?
The headcount. The humans are the adjustable line item.
Which puts a really grim spin on the word efficiency. It's not about doing more with less. It's about firing people to buy machines.
And that brings us to a really difficult point.
Yeah.
Because usually in tech, there's a kind of ecosystem. The big companies shed talent.
And that talent flows into the startups, the safety net. The idea was always, oh, Amazon fired you? Great. Go join a Series A startup. They need you.
Exactly. But we have to ask if that safety net is actually working in 2026. Because the data suggests it has some pretty big holes in it.
That is a scary thought. But before we get to the startup data, we do need to take a quick pause.
Let's take a brief break for a special message from our producer, Kurt Robbins.
Hi, this is Kurt Robbins. First, thanks for listening. I truly appreciate your support. I want to let you know that I'm currently accepting new clients. My rates are affordable, and I have more than 25 years of experience working for enterprise companies like Microsoft, Northrop Grumman, Oracle, PNC Bank, FedEx, USAA, and Wells Fargo, among many others. If you want to improve your IT documentation and communications, hire me. I deliver fast, know how to use AI to improve efficiency and accuracy, and love going the extra mile to satisfy my clients. Thank you for subscribing and listening. Back to you, Daphne and Fred.
Welcome back to the Technical Writing Success Podcast. We are breaking down the state of the tech job market here in early 2026.
So before the break, we were talking about this idea of the startup safety net. The assumption that all these laid-off employees can just go work for the next generation of companies.
Right. So is that actually happening?
Well, Nate Beck cites a survey from Ascend that pours some cold water on that idea. They surveyed about 70 CEOs of VC-funded early-stage startups.
The exact companies that are supposed to be hiring.
Exactly. And they are hiring, but they're hiring differently. The survey found that 9 out of 10 of these startups are actively using AI in their operations. And the crucial finding is this. They are planning to hire smaller teams than they would have in the past.
This is that leaner by design idea.
That's it. Think about it. In 2021, if you were launching a company, maybe you needed a team of 15 to get to your Series A.
Yeah.
You needed front-end, back-end, QA, a designer, a couple writers. With Copilot, with generative design tools, maybe you can get to that same milestone with just 8 people.
So those other 7 jobs,
Yeah.
they weren't lost in the layoff?
Yeah.
They were just never created in the first place.
Correct. It's a silent shrinking of the market. The total number of available seats is getting smaller.
Which changes the math for everyone. You can't just rely on industry growth to create a spot for you anymore. So what do you do?
This is where we have to pivot to survival strategy. Because people are still getting hired. But the profile of who gets hired is shifting. The article mentions a huge shift away from managers and towards individual contributors, or ICs.
Yeah, I saw that note from Greg Chrysler. He said the trend is all about flattening teams.
Yeah.
The era of the middle manager who just coordinates people, that's ending.
It really is. The mandate now is hands-on keyboard. If your main job is just communicating context between teams, you're vulnerable. Companies are telling managers to either become ICs, actually write the code, produce the content, or leave.
That's a tough pill to swallow. You spend years climbing the ladder to get away from the grunt work, and now you're being told the grunt work is the only thing that has value.
It is. But Viv Ivanova, the recruiter, adds another layer here. She says safety isn't just about having skills, it's about where you sit in the business.
The proximity thing, right?
Yes. She lists 3 things you need to be close to: revenue, infrastructure, or real business impact.
I like that phrase, visible business impact. It's not enough just to be busy.
No, you have to be able to say, I did X and it made the company Y dollars. You can't just say, I wrote the docs. You have to say, I wrote the docs that reduced support tickets by 20%.
You have to draw a straight line from your keyboard to the bank account.
Exactly. If that line is squiggly or it goes through 3 other departments before it hits money, you are in the danger zone.
Okay, so let's get practical. Nate B. Jones, who gave us that great math on Amazon, also offers a framework for how to act. He breaks it down into 3 steps.
Right. Step 1 is get an honest read on your AI readiness.
And this isn't just, have I played with ChatGPT?
No. It means, are you using these tools to fundamentally change your velocity? If you're not producing 3 times the content you used to because of AI, somebody else is. And that somebody else is getting that lean startup job.
Okay, so step 1, be faster. Step 2.
Step 2 is read your company like an investor.
Back to the cash flow discussion.
Yep. Don't just listen to the all-hands meeting where the CEO says everything's great. Go look at the 10K. If your company is burning cash and they aren't buying GPUs, that means they're just struggling. Cuts are coming.
It's just situational awareness. Move first.
And step 3 is this idea of high agency.
I love this term. It sounds a little like jargon, but the definition is really solid.
It's the antidote to bureaucracy. Low agency is waiting for permission. It's saying, I'm blocked because I'm waiting for another team to email me back.
And high agency
is finding a way to unblock yourself. It's taking ownership of the outcome, not just the process. In a world with teams half the size, you can't afford to have someone who waits to be told what to do.
The manager isn't there to tell you anymore.
Precisely. The manager was fired. The person who says, I saw a problem, I fixed it, and here's the result, is the one who survives.
That's a heavy psychological burden, though. And Brian Phillips points this out. The biggest shift in 2026 isn't just economic, it's psychological.
It's the loss of the safe harbor. For a generation, tech was the safe bet. You were smart, you went into tech, you got stability. That implicit contract is it's broken.
It's become just like every other industry. It's volatile.
And workers have to shift from career stability, which implies staying in one place, to career resilience. Resilience means you can take a hit and keep going. It means having a contingency plan.
It's a sobering reality check.
Yeah.
But I do think there's a silver lining here for people who are paying attention.
I agree. The chaos creates opportunity. If companies are getting leaner, they're also getting faster. If you're that high agency person who can use AI to do the work of 3 people, you become incredibly valuable.
You might not get the free sushi, but you can write your own ticket if you can directly drive revenue.
The bar has been raised. But for the people listening to this, the people who are already trying to get smarter than the competition, that's actually an advantage. Knowledge is your best defense.
You aren't flying blind anymore. And that is exactly why we do this, to give you the night vision goggles for the minefield.
It's definitely better than walking through it with your eyes closed.
Thank you for listening to the Technical Writing Success Podcast from Kurt Robbins, where we help you get smarter than your competition. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, and share. We'll see you next time.